Assalamu alaikum dear viewers. The game I want to share with you today is a game played between Dr. Muhammad Ayoub uh, against Musawir Khan. We played after a gap of almost 2 years. So it was a very important game in the Balochistan Qualification Chess Championship, and it was round 5, and we both were uh, playing with perfect score of 4. So Musawir Khan was having white pieces and he played e4, the main weapon of Musawir Khan and the best by test. So I replied with c5, the Sicilian defense, an invitation for a real fight, and he played knight f3. Uh, he recently in a friendly match played Elepen against me, but this time he opted for knight c3. But still, the intention is not yet revealed as he can play delayed Elepen as well. So I played knight c6, an option for crazy positional fight, and he played bishop to c4. Bishop c4 is a try to get me out of the book and play the natural game, although it abandoned many ideas of white in Sicilian, as blocking the f pawn with knight f3 does not suit well with bishop c4. If the white is having intention to open the uh, center with d4, then it is okay as Fischer played in many of his games with Fischer's chosen line, but his intention was not to go for open Sicilian. So I played e3, which is the a nearly must move, and blunting the bishop and preparing d5, which is a dream of Sicilian players. And he went for straight castling, and I played d5 as I'm allowed to do it, so why not? He replied with e takes d5. Although recently I think last year in 2022, there was a game that I remember between When Forest and Pragananda, and when Forest here played this bishop b5, and after takes at e4, knight to e5, queen to c2, takes, and bishop back to c5, and Prague played uh, bishop to e6, and the game went on, and it was a crazy game. It lost when Forest won that game. So, but as most of the players in our country played this doesn't played after takes bishop b5, so I was expecting that, and I replied with knight f3, although here black can play bishop to d6 or bishop to e7 or even bishop to e6, but I was having some intention to start with the knight, and he replied with d5. Again, mainline move, and after a thought, I played bishop to g4. My intention is to block this knight and stop this move, or after takes this move, or if I take, he cannot go to reinforce his forces at my c6 knight. So Musawir Khan played h6, and although bishop h5 is possible, but I was in a mood to get rid of this knight. And after takes, I played bishop e7 and he played c3 and I simply castled. Here, Mr. Musawir Khan played d takes c5, I takes with the bishop, and he pinned my knight, and I uh, returned my bishop to e7. And here he played knight to d2. Uh, he is trying to reinforce his pieces on the king side and try to launch attack against the king. But here I found a very interesting move, and this move is knight to uh, e6, e3, e4. This knight to e4 is somewhat poisonous, and in many of the lines, white has to sacrifice his structure uh, and double his pawn at the f file. Uh, for example, if he takes knight takes and I take with the pawn, he cannot take this pawn because his bishop is hanging, and after bishop takes, uh, pawn takes queen, bishop takes queen. I have this intermezzo winning a pawn, not winning a pawn, but destroying his pawn structure, and the game will continue like that. Uh, and if in the initial position, if bishop takes, uh, uh, if bishop takes e7, I can take the knight, and after this move, I can take the bishop. Or if he insists on taking the queen, I can take the queen, and after destroying his structure, can take the bishop, and it will be a end game with better pawn structure for black, although a weak pawn on d5 is there. So at this position, Musawir Khan took a long time, and after considering all the moves, he played bishop to e3, and that was my intention because I was trying to reinforce my center by playing f5, and he took my knight, although it doesn't. Uh, I don't like this move because uh, uh, now my isolated pawn is again in the pawn chain, and I was expecting this move, queen to e2, because what Musawir Khan played is queen to d1, which is limiting the options of white. Now we have to understand the difference between these two. After queen to e2, if I move this pawn, which is not good now, uh, white has this intermediate move, and now he can return the bishop to c1, and now his two rooks are developed and occupying the open file by the d1 rook. So that was what I was expecting, but after the after queen e2, f4 is not a good move because white has this intermediate move with rook. So black is forced to not forced but supposed to play queen to c7, and the game will go on. But what Musawir Khan played is slightly inaccurate because now the queen is on d1, so rook cannot come to the d1, and now this move is possible. This f4 is now possible, and I played it because if uh, like he took the knight first and I took the bishop. What I was thinking that he's not able to take this pawn or this pawn because after takes I have this intermediate move, and he cannot take the pawn with the rook because my dark square bishop is very strong now. Uh, Even I can play this queen move as well instead of bishop move and can take the bishop, but the bishop move is very strong, so this pawn is untouchable. And then after the king move to h1, I can simply exchange the queen and play this brilliant move that I was relying upon, is e3, because the bishop cannot take the rook, because I will play. I can even simply take the bishop, or can play this e2 move, and black is completely winning. Uh, Likewise, after this king move, uh, uh, I exchange the rook. If he took with the other rook, it will not make a big difference because I will again play this move. And if he took the rook, I will took the back the bishop. And now I am threatening e2, and the game is completely lost. There is no way to stop me my these two pawns. So I was ready to sacrifice the exchange, and depending upon my uh, e3 move. But Musawir correctly didn't take the pawn. He played this intermediate move with the bishop, and when I move to the corner, now he take the pawn. But now the king side structure of the white is slightly weak, so I took the rook at f1, and he took he's bound to take with the king, otherwise he's losing his bishop at d5. So after this move I played queen to b6, protecting my pawn, taking this pawn and this pawn. So he has no time to take this pawn with the bishop, so he correctly played queen to d2, e2, and I check with from f6. And now he has two options. Both of the options were somewhat dangerous, but the white is supposed to play this move. Here I was relying upon this move, and after this, the white is completely lost. There is no way for white to save himself, and even if we move bishop to h6, a6, again the white is completely lost. The move I missed, because I am sacrificing a pawn here, the move I missed is after this, and rook to b8, he has this brilliant move, and now my e4 pawn is under threat, and I cannot take this bishop because he has this check, and that will be a mate as well. So I missed that move, uh, but what Musawir Khan played, he doesn't. I think he missed that move as well, because otherwise this king to g1, if you see this move, is okay. Otherwise, king to g1 is losing to uh, queen to e5. So he tried to run with the king at e1, but here I found a brilliant move, and I'm proud of this move. And this move looks very natural and very benign, but it is very poisonous, and it is rook to f8. And the game is simply lost. White has nothing to do, because there are so many threats. I can even come to queen with e5, or queen to d6, and after the bishop moves, this is a checkmate, and or he's losing his queen, and still he will be checkmate in a few moves. As I'm occupying this file, and if the queen comes here, I'm occupying this file. So this check will be deadly. So Musawir Khan calculated all of these, and he played a good move here, and that is pawn to g3. But still, it is not going to save the white position, as I played queen to e5. I took some 5 minutes uh, between these two moves. I was considering queen to d6 or queen to e5, but I liked and assessed properly that queen to e5 is more strong because I'm protecting this pawn and threatening this as well. So if he save his bishop somewhere, uh, I will take, and if he comes like here, I can check and took the rook, and if he went here, he can lose. He will lose his queen as well. So Musawir Khan took a long time and played queen to g2, sacrificing his bishop because there is no other way to save the position. So I simply took the bishop, and when he returned back, he moved his rook to e1. I played queen to e5, and after this move, rook to d4, I played rook to f3, and there is no way to save the position. He tried to somehow take advantage of my back rank, but this brilliant bishop is protecting this square, so I took the pawn with the queen at g3, and after the king move, uh, I pin the queen. So the queen is pinned, so he can play this move, but he cannot take my bishop and checkmate me because the queen is pinned. So in this position, Mr. Musawir Khan resigned. So it was a brilliant game, and uh, there was so many poisonous moves, especially when I opted for this uh, queen check. If he goes to the this square here, if he take the pawn here, if he comes like here, this white cannot save the structure. The maximum he can do is g 4, then check, and then take, and then again take, and he's losing this pawn as well. And this is a completely lost position with such an open king in the center. So in this game, uh, uh, I played with a centi-pawn loss of 13, which is brilliant, without any blunder, without any mistake, and without any inaccuracy. While there was a single blunder by Mr. Musawir Khan with king to e1 move and two inaccuracies that I took advantage of. So a nice game, and I hope you enjoyed. Uh, Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and good night.